welcome. This is a men's channel with men's content. If you are easily triggered, leave now, because this is not the show for you. I am Jeremy Hill, the gentleman who has gone rogue. Now let's go ahead and get into the subject matter, ladies and gentlemen. Modern women, black women in particular, in my most humble opinion, black women love to play the part of the victim. Black women love it when people throw a pity party for them. Black women love it when someone sees them as weak or someone took advantage of them. Let me explain why I said that. Because many black women make bad decisions that yield bad consequences that makes their lives hard. Black women are upset with all black men, all because of the choices of men that they decided to sleep with. All right? I do not want to hear the excuse, and this all it is just an excuse, a way to run from responsibility and accountability. Women will always say, I was young and I didn't know what I was doing. I made a mistake in my youth. No, you did not make a mistake when you got pregnant. You made a choice. And what kills me about this is that women know, majority of the time, I will say about 80 to 90% of women know that the men that they are sleeping with ain't shit. Period. You already knew that the man you slept with had already had 3 or 4 baby mamas. You already knew that that man wasn't taking care of the kids that he had. You knew that man ran the streets. You knew that that man was a drug dealer, gangbanger. You know that man robbed people. You know that man broke in people's homes. You know that man didn't want to work. You know he was hardly ever gainfully employed. You know all these things about these men. You knew this man was sleeping at his mama house still as a grown man, or staying at his brother's or his cousin, sleeping on the couch because he's too lazy to get out there and get it himself. You knew all this stuff, but you still chose to sleep with Pookie, Ray Ray, Nook Nook, John John, and whoever. You chose that. That was not a mistake. The warning was always there, and not every warning is verbal. Some warnings come to you through observation. When you see that this man ain't nothing but garbage and you still decide to lay on your pimple covered back and let this man inside your womb to where he can skeet in you, that is a choice. You made that decision. You chose to have these babies. You chose to mess up your life. You chose to make it hard on yourself. Now, this is what you have chosen. You have now chosen a life where you have to put this man through child support, to go to court and get child support, even though he's not working. You have chosen a life where you have to depend upon government assistance because you do not make enough money to take care of you and your child or you and your children. You have now chosen to be a burden to your grandma, to your mama, or family members. You have to have them keep your child while you go to work because you ain't got no one to keep them. Or you just don't have the money for daycare. You have chosen this life. You have chosen to be called a baby mama instead of a mother of a child. You have chosen to bring down your value in the dating market. You have chosen these things. You have chosen to be just a fun girl, to be taken advantage by players and Macs because they see you with all them kids. They don't want you. They don't want them kids that came from another man, but they'll have sex with you. So they get to play with your heart and play with your mind and leave you heartbroken, give you more trauma and emotional baggage because you chose this. This is the consequences. Now, why I'm saying it? Because we need the women to understand that there's consequences to their actions. Ladies, you need to understand that when you just open your vagina up to anybody, there is a strong chance that you could be opening it up to the wrong person. Come on. You have chosen the lifestyle of catching STDs. You have chosen to catch the STD that may not ever go away. You can get herpes, AIDS, HIV. See, at some point in every relationship, if you are having protected sex, the condom comes off. It comes off. We got to be real with each other. After so long, the condom come off. You just want to go straight bare raw in it. But if you get pregnant by that man, it is still your fault, not that man's. Now let me say, because I know I'm gonna get pushback on that part when I say it's not the man's fault. But let me explain why I said that. out of the two, the man or the woman, who has to deal with the most when it comes to getting pregnant, the man or the woman? The woman has to carry the child for 9 months or more. The woman has to give birth to the child. The woman has to do all kinds of things for the child. The man, if he a sorry bum of a dude, he could just go someplace else, get ghosts, turn up missing, go mess with another woman, get her pregnant. But you're still here with this baby. The baby that this man don't want is still your fault. Even if he took the condom off, even if you say, baby, go ahead and go in this raw, you should have had enough wisdom to still be on the pill, to be on some type of contraceptive. It's still your fault. It ain't nobody else's fault. You are not a victim. You ladies make all these bad decisions and want to blame everybody else. You want to blame the circumstances that surround you for making these bad decisions, or you want to blame the environment that you grew up in for making bad decisions, or you want to blame this man or this woman for you making your bad decisions. No one is putting a gun to your head and making you make bad decisions. You going to jail for making bad decisions, ladies. You cutting up men's tires because you found out that that man was cheating on you. You busting out their windows. You keying up his car, and then you go to jail for that. No one made you do that. Women, you have to take accountability for yourself. You are not a victim. You always want to act like you are a victim, and that the bad man, that the black man is the demon that makes you do these things. Now let me tell you something. Your bad decisions does not only affect you. When you make bad decisions, it affects other people around you. Now let me explain how your bad decision making will influence your children. They had nothing to do with it. You ever heard what people say in the Bible, something like, the sins of the father shall be visited on the children? This is true. You see, when you make a bad decision and sleep with the wrong man and have his child, and he don't want nothing to do with you, you bring suffering to the child by your bad decisions and men. Because that child has to now know what it feels like to not be able to say Happy Father's Day on Father's Day. That child now knows how it feels like to see other children with their daddy someplace and they don't have theirs. Now that child gets to know how it feels to not have a daddy show up at the football game he playing at, the basketball game he playing at, the baseball game he playing at, but he gets to see everybody else daddy up there. And don't think because, well, I take care of my kid, I love my kid, that ain't the same thing as having a daddy. You're gonna be a woman all day, it ain't gonna be the same thing as being a man daddy to a child. I don't care, I don't know where y'all get that from. No. And guess what else? Now that child get to experience how it feels not to have both parents at his or her graduation. That child now gets to experience not having both parents at his or her wedding. Think about them. All because you chose to sleep with a knucklehead. That knucklehead don't care. And y'all can jump on me and say, oh man, what about him? I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, because you're the one who carries the baby. The first true love of every child is the mother. That's where the first interaction with people really come from. The doctor spank it, the baby cry, but the first feeling of love and nurturing, of warmth, comes from the mother. Did you know that? So I heard someone say before that the word mom is another name for God for babies. I believe in one God. I'm just saying I don't believe that woman is God. Because people say, oh, the woman is God. I don't believe that at all. I believe in one God. But I'm just using that as an example. So now that child is living his life fatherless. I'm gonna tell you something what happened to boys who don't have their daddies. Daughters too, but I'm gonna focus on the boy right now. A boy needs masculinity. No matter how hard you try to be, no matter how independent you try to be, it's not masculinity. You're just a hardcore woman. That's all that means. Now, the need for masculinity is so great in a boy is that he's gonna seek it out. Now, either he'll find that masculine energy in a man who is a CEO who runs a multi-million-dollar business, or he'll find that same masculine energy in the streets with the drug dealers, gang bangers, and the thugs. It's still masculinity, but you have bad masculinity and you have good masculinity. And who do you think he's gonna see more of? The multi-million-dollar business owner or the people in the streets? This is why, I don't need a man. You need to put some kind of man in his life. I ain't talking about one of those men that touch him all. No. I'm talking about men like a coach or uncles. He got to be around some positive examples of masculinity, because you can never give him that. And another thing, if you have a daughter, she needs the masculinity in her life too, so she can know how to judge a man for herself. Like, oh, this man right here, he reminds me of my daddy too a little bit, because he handles his business, he's honorable, he's respectful. I see how, stuff like that. But if she don't have no daddy, then the streets are out there for her. Especially if you bringing men around her all the time, she gonna be a hoe like you. Point blank, period. So yeah, I don't believe and I do not subscribe to this whole victim mentality. You ladies are making decisions that are bringing you bad consequences, and you want to be mad at the world and you want the world to feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you. I do not feel sorry for one of y'all at all, because I know you knew what you were doing when you did it, and after the consequence came, then you want people to feel sorry for you. No, because like I said before, the warnings were always there. People usually try to tell you about your actions if they love you before you get into that bind. But you knew every damn thing. You following your heart. You're stupid. Now look what it did to you. Now look what you got to go through. Got to get on TANF, got to get on EBT, got to get on SNAP. Hardly make enough money at your job. They're cutting your hours at the job. You want to still date and have a single life, but you can't really move where you want to because you got kids now. You got to try to find this man, if you can find him, who made the babies. And you have to deal with the reputation of just being a baby mama. It ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. So stop trying to be a victim. No, you're not a victim, man. And you don't get no sympathy from me, no empathy from me, no understanding from me, no compassion from me. They don't do it to the men. They don't give us compassion. They don't give us empathy, sympathy, and all the other stuff I just said. Well, if we mess up, it's our fault. You should have known better. You're a man. You're not a real man. You're not a good man. I'm telling you right now, you're not a good woman. You're slow in the mind. Well, like I say, while you out there playing victim, you probably gonna get, some of you watch this video, get mad at me because you're the one I'm talking about. Well, anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope y'all have a safe one. You hear?